evening, one and all. It is Saturday evening. It is the return of the WrestleScope Weekly Podcast. Good evening, everybody. This is John. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. We are going to talk about a ton of stuff in the world of professional wrestling. Let me get a couple of things set up here as I am quickly trying to get on board with the podcast tonight. Hang on a second here. Got a couple things going on. We are live tonight on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook Live, on Instagram, and on TikTok. We've got all of our channels working tonight. Thank you very much for joining in this evening. And I got to kill the notifications here. Hold on Instagram Live real quick. Hold on. There we go. We're going to get rid of that. That's gone now. Okay, so we're not going to be getting the ding anymore. We're going to get rid of that. And let me check something else here. All right. We are set and we are running. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Wherever you may be watching this, please give a like to this, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you can be updated every time we are live here on... Wait, who's a 30-year... You're a 30-year fan of me? I love that. That is awesome. I haven't been doing this for 30 years. I've only been doing it for a little over a year. But that is awesome. Thank you very much. Wherever you may be tuning in, I am waiting for a message to come in right now because somebody... Oh, a 30-year fan of wrestling. Okay, DoorDash guy, that's good. I'm waiting for somebody to chime in here with what the official drink of John of WrestleScope is going to be this evening. Okay, and I don't understand. My lighting on TikTok is way off. I don't understand what is going on. I am going to have something special to share with you folks tonight. Yes, it's off screen right now. Lots of things to talk about this week. We got a lot of things to hit on. Oh, I know what I was going to pull up here real quick. Let's see. We've got to update this because I had put in the description of the video everything I wanted to talk about, and I forgot to write it down everywhere where it was going to be. There we go. We're going to talk about AEW Revolution. The great pay-per-view it was. A new NXT Champion being crowned. AEW debuts with Jeff Hardy and Swerve Strickland. Cody Rhodes, is he going to sign with WWE or not? The debut of Butch on Smackdown. And I think the big news we are going to talk about right now, coming out of the gate, first of all, is the injury that happened last night, the very scary injury to Big E on SmackDown last night. The New Day was involved with the tag team match with Ridge Holland and Sheamus, and Ridge Holland went to do a belly-to-belly suplex over the top on the floor against Big E, and it looked like there wasn't full rotation that went on in it, and Big E landed awkwardly on the top of his head. He was stretchered out of the arena. It was a legit injury. They diagnosed him with a broken neck. Fortunately, it is not too serious. Big E did go online live today and gave an update that I believe it was the C1 and the C6 there was damage to, but there was fractures, but he is not going to have surgery. He's not going to need to have surgery, which is good. There is no timetable as of right now on his return. But we hope the best for Big E. It was a very difficult situation, a very tough thing to watch. And obviously you never want to see anything like that happen to anybody in the world of professional wrestling. Okay, Marcus, we'll get to that in a little bit. Go ahead. If you're on TikTok, go ahead and I'm going to do my best to get to the comments here when I can, but feel free to have the conversation going on as much as you want to. Wherever else you may be watching, please jump in with your comments, and we will get to those things as quickly as we can. Please share this as well with your friends. There's a lot of people I know on TikTok. There's a lot of people live on TikTok right now because it's a Saturday night. It just is what it is. All right. And let's see. Oh, all right. So my good friend Sarah decided, she asked me, okay, what are you going to drink tonight? What are you going to drink on the podcast? And I don't know, this might turn into a thing. This might turn into a thing on this podcast, especially now that I am not working the job I was working previously. And Brian, you and I are going to talk about that. So we are going with the Old Smoky from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, peach whiskey. We're going to go with that tonight. That is going to be the drink of choice here in the WrestleScope studio. So whatever you may be having to drink this evening, please join me. We got 3 fingers going there right now. And as we go into the next topic, we're going to need this. We're going to need this. So Sarah, this is for you. Cheers. Thank you very much. I'll tell you, the Old Smoky stuff, they've got some, and they are not a sponsor. They are not a sponsor. Maybe I can get them to be a sponsor at some point in time. I was introduced to them about a month ago. Just happened to find a sample bottle of something that they have. They have some amazing flavored whiskeys. Yes. All right. Yep. Brian, yes, I know you do. I know you do. Yeah, Brian can get me all set up with that, I think. But yes, Old Smoky has some fantastic flavored whiskeys. They've got peanut butter. They've got salted caramel. They have the peach. They have root beer, which I'll tell you, the bottle of root beer whiskey that I got about a month ago did not last long. That one went quick. Okay, I think they have one other one. I don't remember what it is. I am turning into I don't want to say a connoisseur of bourbons and whiskeys. I am not like I am not like the former Aiden English, Drama King Matt on Twitter, who is a big bourbon aficionado. If you're not following him, he has a great podcast, a great YouTube series on different bourbon whiskeys. So definitely check out Drama King Matt, the former Aiden English from WWE. I may put a link up somewhere for him, and he's based out of Chicago, so he's relatively close to where I am in Milwaukee. Would love to get him on the show one of these days. All right, but as we are drinking this evening, we are going to talk about we're going to talk about Butch. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I spent 45 minutes grumbling and complaining about this last night. So last night we saw the debut of Pete Dunn on the main roster on Smackdown, and he was brought in to be part of the trio with Sheamus and with Ridge Holland. Pete Dunn, the former NXT UK champion, he was he was the NXT Tag Team Champions with Matt Riddle. They won the Dusty Cup a couple of years ago, and they pretty much forgot about the great wrestler that Pete Dunn was. And they gave him, basically the story came out yesterday from Fightful Select that they had reported early on that there was going to be a debut and it was going to look like garbage. People were not happy about it. It was going to have something to do either as a bushwhacker's rib or it was going to have something to do with the Little Rascals. Whatever the case may be, it was crap. They brought him out. They're calling him Butch, completely ignoring everything Pete Dunn has done on the independent scene, NXT UK, NXT, and they're basically saying that, oh, he's been longtime friends with Sheamus and Ridge Holland and this and that. And keep in mind, him and Ridge Holland were on opposite ends of a feud not that long ago. Okay? I don't know what is going on with WWE. And yes, Brian, WWE messes up everything they touch. Well, it certainly feels like that right now. I don't know if I am beginning to think that Vince McMahon has an issue with wrestlers that are not American. Now, okay, maybe I'm wrong on this, but they've done some dumb things. They've done some dumb things with Sheamus over the years. Ridge Holland has been brought in to look like a lackey. Piper Niven. I never really truly went off on this one. But Piper Niven, who is an amazing talent, she was absolutely fantastic in NXT UK, and they bring her in as the number 2 for Eva Marie, and they give her the stupid name of Dewdrop. And I was really, really hoping that when she turned heel and she started becoming, the resident big girl badass, that she was going to go back to Piper Niven. But it's not going to happen. So we have Dewdrop and we have Butch. Proof positive that Vince McMahon has never been about wrestling. He is about entertainment. He is about comedy. He's about things that are going to make him and his little inner circle laugh their asses off. That's basically what it comes down to. And I still stand by the fact, if you look at that segment last night when Pete Dunne was introduced as Butch, the look he had on his face, it wasn't the I'm the angry British ass kicker that's coming in. It's the, my God, what have I done? What kind of stupid crap is this? And the fact, again, the report from Fightful Select was that there was a lot of people within WWE that heard about this that were angry about what is going on with this. This is absolutely disrespectful to a tenured talent, not just in WWE, but in professional wrestling, that his whole history has been, he's been retconned, basically. It's absolutely stupid. Yeah, DoorDash guy on TikTok, he loves the pairing, but the name is ridiculous. Honestly, I actually don't even like the pairing. Pete Dunne does not need to be the third man in this stupid trio that they've got that's going absolutely nowhere. Yes, Lucas, they already butchered him. Yes, absolutely. Yes, they butchered him. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to spend any more time on this because I'm just so angry. But we're going to take a drink right now in honor of Pete Dunne. All right. Sexy Boy 48316 asking if Roman Reigns is going to become a double champion at WrestleMania. I'm only going to take a minute to talk about this. Actually, it wasn't even in my subjects for tonight, but let's talk about it real quick how badly WWE is booking WrestleMania. I do believe Roman Reigns is going to be a double champion coming out of this. Brock Lesnar does not need to win this match, and for future storylines and booking, it makes sense for Roman Reigns to somehow screw over Brock Lesnar and win that title. I've got this sneaking suspicion, and it's almost kind of that bad gut feeling that what WWE is going to do, it's going to be a screw job finish. It is not going to be a clean finish in the match. Brock Lesnar is not going to lose cleanly. He's going to get screwed again, just like he did when he lost the title to Bobby Lashley at was it Royal Rumble or was it Day One? No, it was Royal Rumble, because he won the match. He won the belt at Day One. He's going to get screwed over. It's going to be some sort of a screwy finish. I don't think it's going to be the Usos. Oh my goodness, Lucas, I hope you were wrong on this. Lucas says, imagine if it ends in a DQ. No, they are not going to end the biggest pay-per-view of the year, their main event. They are not going to end it in a disqualification. Well, then again, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the WWE. We've seen it before. Fortunately, the Money in the Bank contract isn't out there still. Maybe they'll come out with a big surprise for us. I get the feeling, though, that Brock Lesnar he's going to say, listen, I'll drop the belt, but I do not want to lose cleanly. And it has nothing to do with Roman Reigns, but he's got all that creative control. Who knows, though? It could change the day of, because you're going to have the power struggle going on between Roman Reigns, who obviously is the number one guy in WWE right now. And I'm not talking storyline wise. I'm talking realistically. He is the number one guy in WWE right now, and he has been for over a year. Brock Lesnar, who basically gets whatever he wants, and Paul Heyman involved with both. How is this? This is a tough one to predict. My heart is telling me that Roman Reigns is going to win, and it's going to be a screw job of some sort. Okay. The Sexy Boy 48316. Imagine if The Rock makes a surprise return at WrestleMania. It's not going to happen. Rock is not going to be at WrestleMania 38. Whether it's in a wrestling role or anything else, he will not be at WrestleMania this year. If anything, he may just do a video. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had heard a while back he was actually going to be in the midst of making a movie, so he's not even going to be available to be in Dallas at that point in time, but who the heck knows? Yeah, Brian, you are absolutely right. He is saying if they do the DQ, there's going to be a riot. I think there's going to be a riot regardless, because I think people are going to be pissed off in general about how this pay-per-view is going to go, because if you look at this is one of the worst booked and promoted, I mean, as far as, builds for a WWE pay-per-view that I've seen in a long time. Okay, yes, you had the closing angle last night between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, where they basically relived the parking lot brawl from a couple of years ago. There was only the one little segment between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman at the beginning of the show. There wasn't anything on Monday Night Raw, really. You don't know. Well, I think we kind of have an idea now of what's going to happen with the SmackDown tag team titles. The only match that has really been, storyline wise, has been pushed really well has been Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. And now with Becky Lynch dealing with an injury, with a crushed larynx, she's not going to be on TV that much. You've got things that are way up in the air with the cards still. The whole thing with, let's talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin here and Kevin Owens. That kind of came out of nowhere. There had been rumors for a while that Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to be involved. Again, because it's in Dallas, Texas. He's from Texas. And numerous reports are saying that it is not going to be a match. He does not want to do a match. That's just going to be a physical altercation. Jim Ross, even, on the Grillin' with JR podcast earlier this week, talked about how if Steve Austin was going to do a match, it would have had to have been planned months and months and months in advance, because that's the kind of guy he is. He wants to get in the right shape. He wants to make sure that he's able to do the absolute best that he can. No, he's going to come in. It's going to be a couple of punches, stomp a mud hole in him, and a stunner in the middle of the ring. That's all it's going to be. And I actually feel bad for Kevin Owens. This is a guy that deserves to have a good WrestleMania match. And yeah, he's going to have kind of a marquee kind of moment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. But doesn't he deserve better than that? Doesn't Kevin Owens deserve a lot more than that? I don't think they're going to offer it to him. All right. Just want to look at TikTok here real quick. Marcus, you're going to laugh at it if it ends with Lesnar on a stretcher and he has to give up the title. That won't happen. Wait, Becky Lynch is overrated? Oh boy, you're going to start a fight on TikTok. She is definitely not overrated. Yeah, AJ versus Edge is going to be a good match. With something that really became sudden, they actually have done a good job of promoting that match and building something for that. But for a two-night stupendous event, they're not doing a very good job. Okay, Lucas, you can see Seth Rollins getting involved again. No, because the only reason that Seth Rollins will not get involved in this is everybody is going to compare it to WrestleMania 31, the heist of the century. He had the Money in the Bank contract. I don't see them doing that again. But anything is possible as we're going to switch gears into the next topic here. That's actually a very good segue right there. But before we get to that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. Thank you very much for being here for the return of the WrestleScope Weekly Podcast. Yes, we are live on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Facebook Live, and Instagram as well. And now the recorded version of this is going to be available in podcast form wherever you can get a podcast. But we're going to be back into the podcast realm again. I'm going to be launching a new podcast website in the coming weeks as well. Let me switch over with this. Don't forget to, easiest thing to do, if you're looking on the bottom here, please check out our link tree, which is in the bio of whatever site you may be watching this on right now. You can check the link tree and you can see all of the different social media sites that we are live and active on. So please check that out. All right, let's switch gears as we were talking about Seth Rollins, who right now does not have an opponent at WrestleMania. But the big rumor flying around right now is that his opponent will be the returning Cody Rhodes. But as of, and let me check and see. Let me check the Twitter here. There has not been anything new that I have seen that has popped up as of the broadcast time right now. Last I had heard, and let me see if Fightful. Nope, Fightful has not posted anything either. Nope, there's nothing there either. So as of right now, WWE does have a contract on the table for Cody Rhodes. They have made an offer, and Cody has not signed it yet. Not quite sure what is happening. I can tell you right now, I said this last night in my live stream, and I'm going to say it again right now. If Cody Rhodes caught what happened with Pete Dunne last night, if he saw it, which he's very active on social media, so he knows now what happened, and he had not put pen to paper yet on the contract, part of me is seriously thinking that Pete Dunne segment may have just cost WWE re-signing Cody Rhodes. Because what they did, Cody is going to get reminded of the way WWE treated him the last time he was there, with the whole Stardust thing and that whole joke of a gimmick and everything, that all these years later, they're still doing crappy joke gimmicks. If Cody does end up signing with WWE, you know it is simply about the money. It's not about him as a character. It's not about him and his family legacy. It is about the dollar signs. Plain and simple. Because you know Cody's going to get an initial push. They'll probably push him to the moon, and then all of a sudden he's going to get the Big E treatment. He's going to get the Kofi Kingston treatment, and he's going to get pushed down into the mid-card again as a joke, because Vince is going to look at it like, yep, we brought in the big AEW guy. He started this company and blah, blah, blah. And look what we're doing with him now. Cody Rhodes. If by some odd chance you end up seeing this or hearing this, Cody, please do not sign back with WWE. Whatever issues may have been going on backstage with you and the Elite, you and Tony Khan, work it out, figure it out, go back to AEW. Get involved with the relaunched Ring of Honor. Whatever the case, maybe go back to Japan for a little while. I don't know. Do not sign with WWE. You know better than anybody else what kind of crap that Vince McMahon and his little cronies Bruce and Kevin are going to end up pulling on you. They are going to use it as a way to look what they did to your dad when they brought him in from the NWA. They put him in polka dots and made him look like a freaking joke. Cody, they're gonna do the same thing to you. don't sign with WWE, please. And whether you're a fan of Cody Rhodes or not, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at it from and I hate to keep using the word legacy. I'm not talking about the old faction legacy. I'm talking about his family name. I'm talking about his career legacy. This is not going to end well for him. Plain and simple. I'm going to put it out on the table right now. I'm going to say that's going to be my prediction. If Cody Rhodes ends up re-signing with WWE, it may look good for the first 3 to 6 months, but then it's all going to hit the fan and it's going to look like trash by the time we get to Survivor Series in November. Okay? Yes, Brian, you're right. They've pretty much screwed the entire Rhodes family at one point or another. First it was Dusty. Then it was Dustin. Then it was Cody. Now, part of it with Dustin, he did come in. The Goldust character really ended up saving his career, honestly. He was going nowhere in the NWA/WCW. He came over and this gimmick got over, and then it really went south for him. It really went weird with him. Right around 2002, 2003, things started getting a little wonky for him. WWE main roster wise has never appreciated the Rhodes family name. The only reason it got any appreciation was because of NXT and because of what Triple H did. Whoops, we are losing our signal there. Sorry, Instagram Live. Okay. Yeah, WWE is king of backstage politics. Okay. Sexy Boy 48316. I don't know where you're hearing your stuff talking about Cody's going to face either Ryback. Seth is either going to face Cody, Ryback, or Dean Ambrose. Cody's the only one out of the three there. Ryback is never going back to WWE. And John Moxley also is never going to go back to WWE. Okay? Not a chance. Tony Khan has more money than Vince. In essence, yes. Yes. Yeah, Ryback definitely did. Yeah, he definitely burned his bridge there. If they were going to bring Ryback back, it would have happened a long time ago. All right, let's switch gears here. Let's see, what are we talking about next? I have to double check here. Thank you again for tuning in to the WrestleScope Weekly Podcast. My name is John. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's switch over to AEW. Let's talk about AEW. And it has been an eventful week for that organization. They had their absolutely fantastic Revolution pay-per-view. Surprisingly, no title changes at Revolution, but it was a great pay-per-view nonetheless. We saw, Moxley and Danielson one-on-one and the return of William Regal. We saw that unbelievable dog collar match between CM Punk and MJF. We saw Jericho taking on Kingston in just a brutal match. The Battle of the Atoms, Hangman Page defending the AEW World title against Adam Cole. You had Thunder Rosa taking on Britt Baker for the Women's Championship, Jade Cargill versus Ty Conti. The three-way match for the AEW Tag Team titles with Red Dragon, Young Bucks, and Jurassic Express. Just an absolutely fantastic pay-per-view. And they followed it up with a phenomenal Dynamite. Now, it wasn't a perfect show because I talked about this the other night. There were some mistakes along the way. It wasn't the cleanest show. The last hour was kind of rushed, and we found out why. It's because William Regal, in what was a great promo segment, William Regal went a little bit longer than he was supposed to. He went a little bit longer than he did, and he came out with a very sincere apology on social media the other day to everybody that was affected by it. He showed why he is the true professional. That kind of screwed up things in the second hour a little bit. They did have to rush things a little bit with a couple of matches. But that was a great kind of a restart of the kind of the next era of AEW. You saw Chris Jericho begin his Jericho Appreciation Society with Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, and 2.0. And I am excited for 2.0 because I'm huge fans of those guys. I loved it when they came over to AEW. I love what they've been doing on YouTube. And now they're going to be put in a higher level, team faction and feuds. And it's going to elevate their career. And I can tell you, Chris Jericho would not be aligning himself with these guys and Daniel Garcia if he didn't see something in them. And what he's going to do, he's going to show the WWE what they are missing out on when they let those guys go. He is going to, single-handedly show why 2.0, the former Everrise, why they should have been pushed more in WWE. We saw the return of Jeff Hardy, and let's talk about that as we switch gears into AEW. We saw the return of Jeff Hardy in what was kind of a comical segment, and I still wish that they would have done what I had predicted they were going to do. How I would have done that entire segment that evening was I would have still had it go the way that it went. I would have done it earlier in the show. I would have done it in the first 30 to 45, probably in the first 30 minutes of the show, maybe right after the opening match, where they have, the emergency board meeting of the AHFO. And you still have Private Party give the thumbs down. You still have Butcher and the Blade give the thumbs down. You still have the attack go on, but they leave Matt Hardy laying this time. They beat down on him. They leave him laying. Nobody comes out to save him. No Sting, no Darby. Then we have a backstage segment, or maybe Sting and Darby come out at the end to run them off. But we don't have Jeff come out. We cut to maybe after the Thunder Rosa Layla Hirsch match. So figure right around 8:20-ish, Central Time on Wednesday night, or maybe even right before the main event, you have a backstage interview with Matt Hardy, kind of similar to what they did with CM Punk after his beatdown on the Dynamite before Revolution, where he cut a promo. And they have Matt just saying, listen, I thought, they were my family. We were the Hardy family office. They proved it was business. But business isn't going to drive this. Sometimes you have to go to your true family. Sometimes to get blood, you have to go to your blood, and leave it at that. Everybody would have known what he was talking about. You leave it at that. And then on Friday night on Rampage, maybe you do it on Rampage, or you do it this coming week on Dynamite, where you have something going on. Maybe it's the Darby versus Mark Quinn match, and you have Andrade and the Butcher and the Blade come out, and then all of a sudden, that beatdown's going on. You hear the classic Hardy Boys music, and you have Matt and Jeff together run down to the ring, and that is Jeff's debut in AEW. Because it was exciting to see Jeff Hardy, but he looked kind of stupid when his brother's getting beaten down, Sting and Darby are getting beaten down, and he stops at the top of the ramp to do his Pat McAfee dance. He does that. It looked kind of stupid. Okay, it kind of took away from it, and everybody was making fun of him on social media for it. Like, yep, he had to stop and dance, even though his brother's getting his ass kicked in the ring. And okay, that's the last time you're going to see me do anything like that. All right, but other than that, I thought it ended up being a good debut. I think the way I had kind of laid it out would have been better. Friday night, well, it started at Revolution. with the signing of Swerve Strickland, which was awesome. I love the way they did that. He didn't get involved in any matches. He was just brought out as this high-profile signing. He had a really great match last night on Rampage with Tony Nese. That was a really good match last night. So they've got Swerve Strickland. A lot of good things happening right now. We can't forget about, talking about Wardlow. Obviously, you've got a new TNT champion in Scorpio Sky, which the writing should be on the wall. Had Sammy Guevara not lost on Wednesday night, I think Wardlow would have won the TNT championship. There is no way Wardlow wins that title on Wednesday night. For two reasons. One, they are not going to have Scorpio Sky as a transitional champion. He is the first African-American male singles champion in AEW. They are not going to have him be a one-week champion. That will not go over well with wrestling fans and the anti-AEW people. I think I'm almost willing to bet the farm that Shawn Spears will somehow get involved in that match, and he will cost Wardlow the TNT championship. Because, again, much like CM Punk had to wait to get his hands on MJF, Wardlow is going to have to wait to get his hands on MJF. He's going to have to go through Shawn Spears first. He may end up having to go through FTR. Though I don't know what's going on with FTR right now with firing Tully Blanchard. I don't know what the heck happened there, unless Tully Blanchard is going to manage another team against FTR. Which should be kind of cool. Unfortunately, it won't be the Briscoe brothers, because if you hadn't heard the news, there is somebody within Warner Media that has been very open with their comments, saying, based on some anti-gay comments that Jay Briscoe had back in 2010, Warner Media does not want AEW to sign him, and his brother. Time has passed. Yes, some of the comments he made were very abrasive, and a lot of people were not happy about it. They are a group that, if you've watched them in Ring of Honor, if you've watched them on the Independents, they go beyond pushing the edge with their promos. And I'm sure there's people within Warner Media that, they let people get away with things within AEW, but that would be pushing the envelope even more. I still want to see the Briscoe brothers in AEW at some point in time. My goodness, the matches that they could have on television. Can you imagine Jay and Mark Briscoe against Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley? Oh, that would have to be a pay-per-view match. That one would probably scare the bejesus out of a lot of people. Okay. But back to Tully Blanchard, something's going to end up happening with him. Maybe with Cody gone. Arn Anderson isn't doing much right now. Maybe somehow we get Arn and Tully to align again where they bring in a team of their own. Or could maybe we see Tully and Arn work with Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson? Big Shotty. Maybe it's a possibility. I don't know. But AEW, they've got a lot of good things going on right now. Next week's show is going to be absolutely fantastic. Dynamite. We get yet another Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker for the AEW Women's Championship match in a steel cage in San Antonio. If Thunder Rosa gets screwed out of that one, that place is going to riot. They are going to go absolutely nuts. Sean Smith is saying Briscoe brothers are going to go to Impact. That would be interesting. I don't know if Scott D'Amore can handle those guys down there, but you get the Briscoe brothers against the Good Brothers. That would be pretty entertaining. All right. Let's jump back to NXT real quick. Didn't really talk about that. This last week at Roadblock, we saw a brand new champion crowned in Dolph Ziggler. Now, there's one of two reasons this happened. One, Braun Breaker is getting fast-tracked for the main roster. He debuted this past Monday night on Raw as Tommaso Ciampa's tag team partner against the Dirty Dogs. He's been working some house shows. WWE brass are really high on this guy. There are rumors floating around that either Rick Steiner or the Steiner brothers could be the next announced Hall of Famers. I think there's still some bad blood between Scott Steiner and the WWE. I don't know. The first rumor I had heard was actually Rick Steiner, but I can't see Rick going in by himself. That would have been like Jim the Anvil Neidhart going in without Bret Hart. That would be like, really, there isn't another comparison, honestly. No offense to Rick Steiner. I was a big Rick Steiner fan going way back to when he first debuted in the NWA. Thought he was a great character, thought he was a great athlete, did really well. I cannot see him going in as a solo act in the WWE Hall of Fame. It just wouldn't make sense because most of his career, most of the formative years of his career was in a tag team with his brother. Yes, when the NWO happened, they split up. They kind of went their own way. Scott kind of skyrocketed to the top himself. After WWE bought WCW, Rick never ended up back in WWE, did he? Or if he did, it was for really, I think he was another one of those guys that sat out his AOL Time Warner contract. I don't remember if he actually ever ended up coming back into the WWE like Scott did. I don't think he did. So I can't see the rumors of Rick Steiner going in as a solo really happening. Dean, you got an interesting one there. Back to the Briscoes. Briscoes versus Honor No More and Impact. That could be good. That could be good. Yes, Brian, I agree with you. I can't get over the Braun Breaker name, especially since they really have been referencing. Well, Rick actually appeared. He was in the ring with his son when he won the NXT Championship. I had forgotten about that. So there is a precedent that's been set there already to have Rick Steiner in there. But anyways, Dolph Ziggler shocked a lot of people by winning that title. Dolph Ziggler is going to be a transitional champion, but he is a good transitional champion because he is a guy, he's still very talented at 41 years old in the ring. He can help, some of these younger guys. He can carry anybody. He can have a good match against a cardboard box and a broomstick. Okay? That's how good Dolph Ziggler is. I think it's a point of, first of all, they want to get Braun Breaker up to the main roster. Second of all, they don't have that next guy ready to go, which is a little surprising because keep in mind, you have the longest reigning NXT UK champion in NXT right now. Another guy with a stupid new name. He was Walter. Now he's Gunther. But you've got him in NXT. He hasn't won the big belt yet. Now, obviously, it wouldn't make sense for a heel Gunther to beat a heel Dolph Ziggler. It's got to be a babyface at this point in time. But who is it going to be? Who's next up? Not going to be Carmelo Hayes. I think that would be a little bit further down the line. If Carmelo Hayes were to win the NXT Championship, it would be later this year. I could see it being around Survivor Series time. Carmelo Hayes getting an NXT Championship win. Yes, Dean, Dolph is very talented. He is probably one of the most talented overall wrestlers in WWE on any brand. He really, truly is. Always has been. He puts on a great match. We have to take a look at this. Who else is there? If they're not going to give it to Walter, Could it be a Johnny Gargano if he comes back? Probably not. Cameron Grimes? Possibly. LA Knight. LA Knight would be an interesting pick. Though he just came out of that really weird feud with Grayson Waller. I think a run of LA Knight as the NXT champion could be fun. It could be fun. But you've got to set up, you have to think at some point in time, Walter is going to be the NXT champion. That's why there's a part of me thinking that Braun Breaker is not going to get called up to the main roster right away. That they are somehow gearing up for him to get a big WrestleMania weekend marquee win against Dolph Ziggler. But does he really need it? What does it do to have Dolph Ziggler hold the title for 4 weeks and not defend it except at Stand and Deliver? Does that make any sense? Well, then again, it is NXT 2.0. It is WWE. You know, who the heck knows? Really, who the heck knows? What WWE is planning for anything, I have no idea, especially now that Triple H and his group are not running NXT 2.0. Yeah, LA Knight is good. I wish they wouldn't have changed his name. Eli Drake was so much better than LA Knight. Okay, Dean, we're going to kind of, I'm going to open it up to questions right now. I'm going to open it up to kind of open questions here as we round things out here on the WrestleScope Weekly Podcast. We've got about, sorry about that Instagram Live, we've got about 15 minutes left here. I'm going to try keeping this at an hour. So we're going to jump in. First question comes from Dean Morris on the Stone Cold Steve Austin KO situation. I did talk about it a little bit before. Let's talk about it now. As I take another drink. I don't think this is going to work out well. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be a good situation. Yeah, Stone Cold is going to get the big home pop. It's not the way I see it wanting to happen. You know, I would have rather have seen, after 19 years, Stone Cold come in, whether it's a tag team match would have been great. Have him come in, get a hot tag, do a few moves, not having to do a lot of the heavy lifting in the match. KO is a good wrestler for him to be involved with because KO's a veteran. KO's a veteran, and he would take care of Stone Cold Steve Austin. With this being just a KO show, and we know what's going to happen. You know, KO is going to try to hit the stunner on him. It's not going to work. We're going to get the double flip off. We're going to get, kick to the stomach, stunner, beers everywhere. That's what it's going to end up being. That's what it's going to end up being. And it's not going to be good. Okay. Again, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. My gut's telling me Roman Reigns. There's going to be a screw job ending to that. Okay, Marcus, where are you coming up with this CM Punk tagging with Jericho against the Mysterios? What kind of fantasy world are you living in? Seriously. All right, let's go over to YouTube now. Let's see, we've got a couple here. And I'm trying to get my mouse working. Sorry. There we go. Eric, I see your question about the new Jericho faction. I did talk about this. I'm not sure about the name, the Jericho Appreciation Society. Though it immediately leads to, Eddie Kingston calling them the Jericho Appreciation Group or the Jericho Ass Group, the Jags. I can see him somehow coming up with a way to call them the Jags. Or, the Jackasses somehow or something. I like it, though. You've got the muscle with Hager. You've got just the Chris Benoit 2022 and Daniel Garcia, and I'm talking just in-ring talent-wise. He's just kind of that brutal, vicious, Wolverine type guy in Daniel Garcia. You've got the tag team of 2.0 who are really good. I like it. It's the new version of the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle kind of ran their course, and Jericho reinventing himself again, reinventing his factions. I like it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's going to be good. Okay, Sean is saying, a future match for Jericho, Punk, and the Mysterios. The only way that happens is the Mysterios coming over to AEW. That's not going to happen. Sean thinks that Brock is going to win because they're working up for Rock to take on Roman Reigns. It's going to be Rock versus Reigns for the championship. Yeah, I agree, Sean. Mysterios aren't going anywhere. Yes, Dean, they are going to what I'm predicting is going to happen. They are going to unify the titles. Roman Reigns is going to have the unified titles, but he's going to say, listen, I'm not going to waste my time going over to Raw. I don't need to go over to that show. I'm not going to grace them with my presence. And then, Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, whoever, they're going to pull in Eric Bischoff, and they're going to have a tournament to declare a new whatever that champion is going to be over there. It's not going to be the WWE champion. Maybe, I don't know what they're going to name it. But as Brian says, WWE doesn't know what they're planning. Yeah, things are probably still up in the air as far as a lot of things with WrestleMania. It will all change, probably even going up to the day of. We will hear reports of changes happening on Saturday and Sunday for matches at WrestleMania. Oh my goodness, there goes my mic cover. Whoops, let's fix that real quick. Hello. All right, there we go. All right, am I still going to do a figure? I had forgotten I had mentioned I was going to do that. One of these days, I've got to readjust the studio here a little bit still. I do want to get my wrestling figures into a more prominent location. Actually, I might be able to do that soon. I've got something back behind me here that I'm working on that maybe I could get my wrestling figures over there. So keep reminding me. Oh, yeah. Okay. I normally don't swear on this podcast, but I have to because Eric's got a funny comment, and I want Instagram and TikTok to hear this. Okay. Eric says, the new champion on Raw is going to be called the Shit Show Champion. I like that one. All right. Rousey versus Flair. Thoughts? I could really care less about this match. I really could. I am not a fan of Charlotte Flair. Never have been. Never will be. I think her promos suck. I don't think she's that great in the ring. Yes, she's a good athlete, but I'm sorry. She is nowhere near what her dad was. Okay, the only true comparison between Charlotte and Rick is the last name. Ric Flair knew how to carry a match. Ric Flair knew how to put over talent of different levels. He didn't have to talk in the ring. He let his actions in the ring speak for him, even though he was one of the greatest promo people ever. His daughter is nowhere near that. I'm sorry. The apple fell very far from the tree on that one. And if you disagree with me, too bad. I'm not a fan of Charlotte Flair. Personally, okay, Sean, ideally, I'd like to see Bayley come back. All of a sudden that becomes a triple threat and Bayley walks out with the championship. Yes, Charlotte is a product of Vince McMahon. I wouldn't say she's there because of Daddy. Okay, Charlotte Flair, again, very good athlete. She is a good athlete, but as an in-ring competitor, as a sports entertainer, she is good. As a professional wrestler, she is not. I would take Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. I would take Jade Cargill over Charlotte Flair. And some of you know, okay, Jade Cargill has come a long way in the last year. Within the last 2 months, I said she was overrated. I think they pushed her a little bit too hard, but she has gotten tons better since working with Bryan Danielson. I would take Jade Cargill over Charlotte Flair any day of the week. I don't know about this one, Eric. David Flair has more talent than Charlotte. I don't know. Bayley, big question there. When is Bayley going to come back? She has not been cleared yet. There is the possibility with 3 weeks to go until WrestleMania, she could be cleared. I don't think she is going to have a singles match. I think if anything, she would come back the Raw after WrestleMania. She'll be that big Raw after WrestleMania return, because I don't think they're going to waste her return on a women's battle royal on whichever day, probably day 2 of WrestleMania Sunday. Okay, Sean is saying she's been cleared. The last report I heard yesterday was she wasn't, so I could be wrong. You think they need to do Asuka versus Lynch for the belt? I don't think that's going to... Well, Asuka's been cleared. We're waiting for her to come back. Who the heck knows what's going to happen with her? I really don't. I think Bianca's going to end up beating Becky Lynch for the title. Becky doesn't need the championship. She's had that, I haven't lost in 3 years, or I haven't been beaten in 3 years for this title, which was true. She walked away. She handed the belt to Asuka when she became pregnant. And as soon as she came back, she won the title. So she technically never lost the belt, which is very true. But you would take Lita over Flair in Lita's prime. I'd take Lita over Flair right now. Okay. I would take a wet, soggy bag of newspapers over Charlotte Flair right now. I know I'm going to take a lot of heat for that one. I know I'm going to take a lot of crap for that comment. But again, I've never been a fan of Charlotte Flair. I can't stand her promos. I don't. She cannot carry a talent. She cannot carry a lesser talent in the ring with her. She just can't. Oh, Eric, I don't know if I even want to put that comment, your next comment up. I don't know. But I'm going to real quick. We'll just leave it at that. I'm not even going to say anything. What? Nobody's saying AJ Lee? Nobody's saying Paige? We're hearing Lita, we're hearing Trish. What about Paige? What about AJ Lee? I want AJ Lee to come back. I miss her so much. I truly, truly do. I want AJ Lee to come back. All right, we're going to see if we can hit the post at 1 hour with this. Thank you very much for tuning in for the return of the WrestleScope Weekly podcast. It has been a pleasure to be back. This is the first weekly podcast I've done in over 4 months. Yes, I have been back. This is day number 11 of being back here, doing live streams. I'm really happy to be back. Oh, before I wrap this up, I have to show you my new toy. I got to go off screen for just a second. Hang on, because I've got it hidden. So maybe I'm stealing an idea from Matt Cardona. I don't know. Deonna Purrazzo was trying to be the belt collector. Kenny Omega was trying to be the belt collector. And good old Matt Cardona was trying to be the belt collector. But I've added a new one to my collection, which I'm really excited about. I love this belt. It is the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship belt. It is a beautiful belt. I love this one. This one goes along with the old school WWF Intercontinental Championship belt, which is actually, you know what? Let me pull that one out. I've got it in the Money in the Bank case. Let's get this one out. So we're going to put Money in the Bank back up here. I don't know if it'll stand anymore. So we've got the Intercontinental title, and we've got the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Very happy about having these. Trying to figure out how I'm going to get these put up. The reason why I'm doing this now, first of all, for anybody that's asking, no, these are not going to turn into, fake WrestleScope championships. I am not going to do that. If there will be eventually a WrestleScope championship belt of any sort, I've got one of two guys I am going to be reaching out to help customize a belt. That is a long ways away, though. That will not happen anytime soon. Okay, but just kind of an inside thing, I've shared with you guys before that I do work in children's ministry at my church. Love Johnny Two Belts. Thank you very much, Eric. Yep, I love that. But I work in children's ministry on Sunday mornings with our kindergarten through fifth grade kids, and have done it for good grief, 9 years now. And I always do, funny skits, funny characters, funny gimmicks, things like that. And I came up with the thought of, I don't know why, I want to do something with the belt collector. We're talking about cooperation this month, and I thought it would be kind of funny to start coming in with wrestling belts for whatever reason. So I came in with this one last week, and the kids were like, whoa, that thing is really cool. That's really awesome. So I ended up ordering this one a week ago, and it came in. Very nice belt, very good quality, 2mm brass belt, leather strap, absolutely fantastic. I actually have a couple more coming in. Okay, and hopefully Noah doesn't end up seeing this, because I'm going to take crap for this. I've in case anybody asks, I've sold a few things on a couple of different online venues that are that are paying for these things right now, but I got a couple more coming, which I'm really excited about, which I will share next week on the show, on the podcast. I don't know if I'm going to get to the Matt Cardona level yet. We'll have to see if I can find any deals on belts. This one I've actually had for over a year now. I used to have the old WWF Tag Team Championship belt, and I sold it, and I'm regretting selling it now. But I've got two more coming. I've got another one that I've got my eyes on that I'm looking at. So I may end up pulling a Matt Cardona here, where I start complaining about how many belts I have. Okay, I'm not trying to. I almost feel like I'm bragging here, and I don't mean to. I apologize. I'm typically a pretty humble guy when it comes with this kind of stuff. But I've never owned more than 2 championship replica belts at any time, and I've been very nitpicky on how much money I spend on them, because I just don't have a lot of extra money. And I just, like I said, I've been able to sell a few things and had a little bit of extra. John the Champ, thank you very much. Nick Khan is the problem with the WWE. Yes, he is. I'm not going to be one of those guys that has the big glass display. Oh, look at all these beautiful belts I have and everything else. Any collections I have, for my friends on TikTok, you can kind of see it. I'm going to do something I normally don't do here on YouTube. I'm going to see if I can get this to work. Okay, there we go. Over there, and I apologize for the mess in the background. I do collect a few things, nothing massive. That is my Captain America collection. Yes, I do have a Drew Brees canvas back there as well. But I do have a Captain America collection back there, and a few other things. I collect small things. I don't have a lot of money to spend on big collections of things. It's just not anything I do. But wrestling belts are something that I've always wanted. For those of you that have been following me since the beginning on this show, I used to, right behind me, I used to have wrestling belts hanging here, but those were all kids belts. Those were all the Hasbro, Jakks Pacific, the plastic belts that you could buy at Target and Walmart and things like that. I had, what did I have? Like 18 of those at one point in time, and I sold them all off. Because, I said if I wanted to have belts, I wanted to have actual replicas, good quality ones, not the $500, $600, $700 belts. One day I do want to get one. I don't know which one yet. I'm leaning towards either the big gold belt, the old Ric Flair NWA era big gold belt, or one that I've always had my eye on, that this just kind of goes back to my younger years as a wrestling fan, is the old Dean. I'd be interested in seeing a picture of that one, the old Portland wrestling belt. I'd be very interested in seeing a picture of that one. I want, actually, you know what? Let me pull it up here because I have seen it before. Let me see if I can find it real quick before we wrap up here. It's the AWA World Championship belt. And the reason I love that belt is, let's see if I can find a good picture of this to share with you guys. Here we go. This is the one right here. Let me see. Oh, nope, not that. I just lost it. Darn it. Hang on a second. Here we go. Ooh, this is I like this picture. Let's see. Tab. There we go. Ooh, that's even better. Yeah, let me show you guys this one. The reason why I love this one is because the AWA is what got me started in watching professional wrestling back in the late 1970s. And, you know, this belt is synonymous with the likes of Nick Bockwinkel and Larry Zbyszko, you know, the late Kurt Hennig before he became Mr. Perfect. That is the belt right there. That was my childhood right there. And that is a belt that I would love to get my hands on. That would be, and I would, when the time came, and I'm sorry, yeah, Colonel De Beers, yeah. Oh, you got the Portland belt from Colonel De Beers? Oh my good, that is so awesome, Dean. I love that, and I wish my friends, I can't show it to you on TikTok or Instagram Live right now. I'm sorry, but yeah, my friends on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook Live, you're seeing this. That's the belt right there that I want to get my hands on. Right there is the AWA World Heavyweight Championship belt. There's another one, and maybe I can bring it up here real quick. I have to be careful though of how I'm bringing this up because I don't want you. This is another one I am looking at as well. Let me see if I can pull up the picture. Image in new tab. Here we go. This is another one here. And I'm going a little long here now, and I apologize. Here we go. We got this one. The old NWA World Television Championship belt. When I think of this title, I think AA Arn Anderson. You know, I think battles that he had with the likes of Nikita Koloff and Lex Luger and Barry Windham and so many others over this championship belt. That's another one I would love to get my hands on. And finally, there's one other one here. I think I've got it saved in here. Give me a second. No, it's not that one. Oh, shoot. Maybe I don't have it saved in here. There was one other one that I've been eyeing up. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Yeah, the big gold belt. That's not it. I actually have... Oh, you know what? I think I missed out on the offer, though. I had a possibility to get my hands on the IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt, the old one before they switched it over. Could have got a pretty good deal on that one, but I opted not to get it at this point in time. I'm trying to see if I can find it here. No, I can't. Darn it. That's a shame. I was really hoping... Oh, wait. Maybe I could find it here. Give me one more second. No, I'm not. Oh, you have one here. No, that's not the same one. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. All right. Enough of that. Michael, how are you doing tonight? I don't know if that's going to end up happening. It would be cool to see AJ Lee come to AEW with Punk, but I don't know if it's going to end up happening. Man, Dean, you are lucky. How in the world do you know Colonel De Beers? He wants to send you the UWF belt too. Damn, that is awesome. That is really awesome, man. I love that. All right, well, we've gone well over an hour here. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. It is great to be back again, doing live broadcasts, talking to you folks, talking professional wrestling. Again, coming from the fan standpoint. I am not a wrestling journalist. I am not a wrestling insider. Eric, let's get to this question. What's going on with Miro? Well, first of all, he just signed a new 4-year extension with AEW. He has signed on with them until 2026. Miro has actually been dealing with a hamstring injury. That's why he has not been on television lately. Hopefully, he will be coming back soon. I was asking that same question a couple of weeks ago, and it came out obviously about the news about the contract extension for him, but also the fact that he's been dealing with an injury. I would love to see a possibility of Miro being one of those in-between challengers for Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship before Hangman gets to MJF. That would be pretty cool to see. But that's what's going on with him. Oh, Michael, we're not... See, you brought it up. Now we have to start drinking again. We talked about this earlier in the broadcast. I think it sucks, okay? Wait, Colonel De Beers... Wait, we're going to stop here for a second. I got to go over to TikTok. Dean Morris is saying that Colonel De Beers was his 7th grade substitute teacher. That is freaking awesome. I love that. Man, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. All right, we are going to get out of here tonight, folks. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate everybody that has been tuning in. You know what? Let me take one last minute here to talk about something. I've been saying I was going to talk about this for a while, and I'm going to do it here on the weekly podcast right now. We're going to wrap this up. I've been very blessed to be able to do something that I love now and be able to come back again and do this. I love talking about professional wrestling. Whether I'm happy with the product or not, I enjoy talking about it because it's been kind of a lifelong thing for me. I started watching professional wrestling when I was 6 years old, and I have loved it ever since. And it's been 40 plus years for me watching professional wrestling during the good times and definitely during the bad times. But I'm now in a position in my life where I can talk about it. And I'm on 5 platforms right now, plus podcasts. So six platforms right now talking about something that I absolutely love. And I have people that are joining in on the conversation with me and commenting and sending in questions and liking and subscribing and following me. And I'm truly humbled, and it is really a blessing to me. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. But as I say that, I have set a very lofty goal for myself for and hold on, let me get the amount of days correct here. Hang on just a second. So let's see. We are looking at, okay, so today is March 12th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks is 42 days, 43, and 44 days. So just a shade over 6 weeks is my birthday. And what I am looking to do is get myself to a point with my channels. I want to get to 10,000 followers on TikTok, which I think is a very reachable goal. I want to get to 100 followers on Twitch, which is a very reachable goal. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is going to be a challenge, but I think it can be done. And I want to get to 1,000 followers on Twitter, which I've proven in the last 2 days. I've gained over 100 followers on Twitter. Well, I have to actually thank, there was a gentleman that was doing a retweeting thing and he got people to follow me, but we're just under 300 followers on Twitter. The reason I want to do that is, I will be quite honest with you, I want to get my channels monetized, because my goal is sometime in the next 3 to 6 months, if possible, is to have the 3 main channels that I can get monetizing, and have some sort of sponsorship coming in through the podcast, where I can actually start doing this on a more regular basis, and I can start investing some things into this and make this a better channel for you, the fans. Make this something that you want to tune into on a regular basis and be able to do more than just me talking, where I can have guests in, where I can have partners on the show, when I can be doing interviews and other things, but also be able to make this a job for me. Basically, I'm at a point in my career where I'm in a transitional point right now. Dean, thank you very much for the encouragement. I'm in a transitional point right now, and that's what really drove me to start doing this channel again after taking a 4-month hiatus. And I've decided, if I'm going to do this, now is the time to do it. But I need your help. And it basically comes down to, I need people liking my channels, subscribing to my channels. I'm going to have to respond to that text in a minute. Subscribing to the channel and sharing my channels and my accounts with people. I'm not asking for people to send in money. I'm not going to, I do have a Patreon page. I'm not going to be doing anything with that right now. But the main thing is getting people to like my channels and follow me. That's what it comes down to. If you like anything of what I'm doing and you're not following me yet, if you just happen to be rolling in here and you found this, please give me a like. I appreciate it. If you don't like my opinions, I'm sorry. My opinions aren't for everybody, but I'm going to attempt to be as respectful as I possibly can to everybody that comes in with their opinions. Michael, thank you very much. You have been a long-time follower of me, too, on many channels. I greatly appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. So if there's any way that you folks can help me, I would greatly appreciate it. But again, I've got 44 days to reach this goal. And here's what I'm going to do. If I can reach the goal on at least 2 of the 3 platforms, so that's TikTok, that is Twitch, and that is YouTube. If I can hit that goal of 10,000 on TikTok, 100 on Twitch, or 1,000 on YouTube by April 25th, any 2 of those 3, I am going to, sometime right after my birthday, I'm going to figure out a date, I'm going to do a 24-hour stream. And it's going to be 24 hours of talking about wrestling. It's going to be 24 hours of maybe doing a watch-along, doing some interviews. I've never done anything like that before. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but we're going to do it. I have to give credit to Heel Kevin on TikTok and on YouTube and on Twitch, who has done a couple of these and does a phenomenal job with them. And he's the one that has inspired me to do something like that. Yes, Brian, I know I'm insane. But if I can reach 2 of those 3 goals by April 25th, I am going to do that. I've been teasing for a couple of days. I was going to do something crazy, but I'm going to do it. It's going to be a 24-hour stream. Like I said, we'll probably do, I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube. I don't know if YouTube will allow me to do a 24-hour stream. We'll have to see. But we may do TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. We'll see how it works, okay? But we got to get to that goal. We got to make it happen. So I'm hoping each and every one of you can help me out. The easiest thing that you can do is go to my link tree. Go to my link tree. All of my social medias are on there. I am going to be posting a video sometime in the next 24 hours to talk about what my goal is, and I'm going to put it on all of my platforms so everybody can see it. When that one comes out, if you can share it with people, if you can like it, if you could share it on TikTok, if you could duet it and stitch it, I would greatly appreciate it. It's going to take the work of many to make it happen. But I appreciate each and every one of you, people that have been following me if it's only been one day, or people that have been following me since day one on this. There are people that are here that have been following me since back in the old WrestleScope on Periscope days. That's how far back this is going. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's see. I have a question here asked by Marcus. And actually, I'm going to be able to respond to that in a video form. Have I ever wanted the Goldberg belt? Well, that was the big gold belt. That was what was the Ric Flair gold belt at one point in time. Yes, I do want that one. Yes, heel Kevin is incredible. He's been a true inspiration for me, a great guy. I love everything that he does. He's given me so many ideas from things that he does, and I greatly appreciate it. And Lucas, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that comment. I greatly appreciate that. You guys make this so much fun for me too. I could easily just be sitting here and spouting off for a long time with nobody here, but I love it when people are in here and interacting with me. I want to get some more of that going on TikTok or on Twitch. Got to get that figured out, but I'm going to get going. My voice is almost shot. Yeah, heel Josh on TikTok is pretty crazy, Marcus. He does a good job as well. I had a long day today at church. My voice was shot coming into this. I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes now. My voice is shot now. So, hey, Dean, please let heel Kevin know that I mentioned him. I mentioned him, and he's my inspiration. So I'm going to get going. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. This has been the return of WrestleScope Weekly. I will be back every week with a brand new show. I'm going to do my best to figure out an exact time that I'm going to be on every week, but we're going to keep doing this. I will be back tomorrow afternoon at some point in time with a shorter live. If there's any breaking news in the world of professional wrestling, or maybe we're just going to open it up just to general questions tomorrow about wrestling. But thank you again for tuning in. My name is John. This is WrestleScope TV. Again, please follow me on all my social media channels. Give this a like, subscribe to the channels, or follow wherever you are. And if you have a notification bell that you can hit, whether it's on YouTube or Twitch, please hit those so you can be notified every time that I am live on the air. Thank you again. We are going to end now for Facebook Live, Twitch, and YouTube. Have a great night, everybody.